What do you think of this man's physique? What if I told you he's 64 years old? I don't know about you, but I'm most inspired by such athletes in their age. And not just because they do the right thing and inspire others, but also because it is kind of answer to those haters who almost under every video type something like "what's it all for?" or "let's see what will happen to his joints in 10 years," and so on. Here you see an aged man with 48 years of training experience. Hardly any commentators are as old as his experience, and his joints are fine. I dedicate this video to aged athletes, and I hope that after it there will be fewer people saying the phrase "it is too late for me." So today we are going to look at 3 aged athletes and highlight some curious facts about their training. For example, OG Shati. That is the name of the athlete I just showed you. He's been training for 48 years and hasn't had a single injury. What is the secret? In fact, according to Shati himself, he never does anything fast, except warm-up and various jumps. All exercises like push-ups, planks and pull-ups he always does slowly. Here, for example, look at how he performs pull-ups. Controlled movement up and then down, with delays at the upper and lower points of the amplitude. OG advises us to try not to count repetitions, because it limits our abilities. Remember how often you said to yourself, "I want to pull up 20 times on a bar," and the 20th time was the last and most difficult. Have you ever wondered why this is so? Most likely it is because you have convinced yourself that this is your limit. Shati advises you to try, instead of repetitions, to say to yourself only the word up and down, and repeat it until you have physically unable to perform the approach. And if it is interesting to know the result, ask someone else to count your reps, or just record it on a video. Returning to slow reps, they also allow you to complicate your work. For example, as in a bench press. You can do this exercise with your feet on a bench and you can push yourself with your feet. If your goal is muscle mass and not reps, make it harder for yourself, not the other way around. The athlete also never sits down to rest during the training. He says that it should be done only after the training, but during the training you should make your blood circulate throughout your body. As soon as you sit down on a bench, you immediately relax and the training will not go according to plan. By the way, OG does not care about nutrition at all. He eats the same as everyone else, does not count neither calories nor meals, and all the fat burns at training, which he has 6 and sometimes 7 per week. Now this man, I don't dare to call him a grandfather, is becoming very popular. His video with the training on a court has gained 2 million views, even though it was uploaded to the channel which has only 37,000 subscribers. Young people enjoy training with him, and you can see from their faces that they take their training very seriously. It is cool to be able to project your image at the age of 64 through athletes like Shati, and I'm more than sure that 95% of people would not mind looking the same at 64. Okay, that's cool, but 48 years of experience is no joke, and frankly, African American genetics aren't exactly the most ordinary, considering that almost all Mr. Olympia titles belong to this particular athlete category. So here is another example with a completely different background and nationality. This athlete's name is Marcus Brown, and he performed his first muscle-up at the age of 52. Now he's 62 years old and he's very good at performing complex elements of calisthenics, whether it's front lever or even planche legs apart. At the same time, the athlete not only trains for his pleasure, but also performs at competitions in calisthenics. And recently he also got a contract with a company that deals with fitness equipment called Fitness Kit. Of course, to be fair, this athlete form is less impressive than Shati's, but he does more elements than basic movements. And he is right, because the main thing of any workout is whether you can repeat it over and over again. And this is possible only if the process itself pleases you. You can see that in our guide. And after digging into his YouTube videos, which were uploaded in 2010, we can say that this guy had really big parties. And considering that our hero is from Germany, it is not surprising. According to 2017 statistics, this country ranked third in the number of liters of beer drunk per capita, ahead of Russia, Poland and the UK. But back to our hero. Look at him now, a satisfied family man with a beautiful wife, who by the way is also practicing calisthenics together with him. By the way, here is how she looked in 2010. Just compare these two pictures and answer the question of how exactly you want to look at 60. Marcus even taught her how to hold a with flag and front lever with rubber bands. By the way, a few words about rubber bands. If you competently use resistant bands for fitness, you can very well progress in performing those elements that you are not able to perform with your own body. So use them if you are a beginner or you just don't know how to start. Now it is time to talk about the last hero for today. He's 50, younger than others, but his level we will evaluate not by the ratio with young athletes, but by the ratio with any athletes in the world, because this man, without any jokes, every half a year gives world records. His name is Zepreto, or as he is nicknamed, the Black Turbo. This athlete most likely many of you have already seen on Instagram, because he has, unlike the two previous heroes, almost 400,000 followers. This man holds the world record for front lever, and according to his own words, has inhuman strength. Well, that's pretty big statement. Let's go to the bottom of it. In this video segment uploaded on YouTube back in 2020, an athlete holds the front lever for 57 seconds, and it is indeed a world record. At least I haven't seen anyone hold it longer than that. I have reviewed this record several times for any editing, because despite the coolness of this athlete, he is unfortunately or fortunately a badass. We will come back to that. Anyway, I sent this cut to my editor, who knows exactly what he's doing, and he said that he's 90% sure that this video is without editing. So let's risk assuming that his world record is real. Moving on, Mr. Black Turbo celebrated his 50th birthday in a very unusual way and performed a front lever with 50 kg weight on his belt, which is another world record. He also easily performs this element on one arm, although according to the athlete himself does not like to do it, because it increases the risk of injury. I have not seen such many variants and complications of the front lever as Mr. Black Turbo does. The fact that he is a master of this movement is absolute and unconditional. This athlete is constantly proving something to the haters. For example, here he holds a front lever, and it would seem nothing special, but according to Zepreto, he does it without so-called scapula push-in. If you have ever held this element, you probably know what makes it hold. So the athlete assures that his back muscles are so strong that he can hold this element using only 60% of his strength. At this point, you probably think, cool man, where does the fucking hate come from? We have already made a video about how he deceived his audience by performing this so-called close to impossible. If you have not watched it, then I recommend you to do it. That's why creating this video we carefully looked at each fragment, but anyway, we admit that he is really unique and exceptionally strong athlete, even though he played with the editing. Some athletes even seriously thought that he had prosthetic legs instead of legs, because it is impossible to perform the front lever so hard. And the athlete was never seen on camera in shorts. He was always wearing long pants. But I must tell you that I found his legs. They were sent me by Grigory Zavatsky, who found the photos in some merchandise store. So there is no need to look for the catch where there isn't one. Let's see what else the athlete can do besides the front lever. Here, for example, he makes 12 explosive power muscle-ups, which look no worse than those made by master of pull-ups Zev Zakaveli in his best shape. In addition to this, the athlete has no problem holding a cross on rings, as well as recently participated in dips challenge, where you had to do a dip only using the strength of one hand. In general, any fragment of his training which I opened is honestly impressive. Again, this is not even taking into account his age. Well, watch this video next to find out how Black Turbo cheated by performing close to impossible. And with you as always was Fyodor Chepki. See you later. Goodbye.